Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to On the Spot. Hello, everybody on the chat. Good to see you, Frank. What's up, Jack? Good to see you. Arif, good to see you. V, what's up, my friends? Good to have you here, man. Bree, it's good to see you as well. It's good to see everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today for episode 2 of On the Spot. I'm so thrilled to have you guys here with me. We're going to be doing something crazy today. We're going to be spinning the wheel of styles, which is something I've never done before on a live or any other time for that matter. It's something that I'm looking forward to doing, but I'm also a little bit concerned about it. And this is what the wheel looks like for everybody. And the wheel has all these different styles. I'm gonna leave it up for a few minutes so you guys can see different styles on the wheel. We have surrealism, we have mid-century, neoclassical, ethereal, pixel art. We have a bunch of different things, and the goal for today is to make something that feels good, looks good, and we do it within like around 45-minute time. And hopefully everything works out super great. Give me a thumbs up out there if you guys can hear me okay, if you guys can see me okay. I feel like everything on my end looks great. But yeah, we're going to be doing this today, and it's going to be challenging a little bit because like I said before, I've never done this before, and I'm a little bit anxious about it. And we'll see. I save a bunch of images to go through that. And then the next thing that we're going to be doing is that we're going to be reviewing all the designs submitted in the Discord. So I'm pulling up Discord right now. We have a few designs that you guys have submitted. So I'm looking forward to just going by one by one of those and just jumping into it and giving you guys some live feedback. Thank you so much for submitting those. I'm so happy that some of you guys submitted some of those. Robert, good to see you, man. Awesome. Thumbs up everywhere in the chat. That's awesome. Good to see everybody. So we're going to be reviewing some of these, and then also we're going to be creating, as usual, I have my timer with me, and I talked about it last week. Why do I have a timer? Design, you can design forever, and then you can fall into, kind of like destroying your own design because you went too far. So you want to make sure that you stop at some point. So having a timer, usually when you work, is a really good thing to like kind of put some pressure on yourself to be able to stop at the right time, and also to kind of like work a little bit faster, right? And kind of train the creativity muscle to work a little bit faster. So that's something that I want to put on y'all's plates too as we move forward, is that I want you guys to, if you take the challenge this week and you want to make a submission for next week on our on the spot challenge, it's going to be based on the style wheel. So I'm going to find a way to share these styles with you guys, and then whenever you guys have them, spin it one time. Whatever you get is the style that you make. Or if you want to do it a little bit more chill, you can just pick one of the styles, make something on that style, and submit it to our Discord. With that being said, it's just time to spin the wheel, I guess. So I'm just gonna click it one time, and then whatever I get is what I get to make, right? The cool thing about this is like some of these styles, I don't even know what they are, but hopefully we're gonna get something that we can both, all of us explore together and kind of understand kind of like what the what the style is, and kind of develop it from there. V, I saw that you made the challenge last week, and so I'm seeing that you made it in around an hour. That's great. So that's what we want. We want to be forcing ourselves to work a little bit faster. Okay, so let's click on the wheel, spin it a little bit, and see what we get. And hopefully we get something interesting. Okay, Tenebrism. Okay, Tenebrism. I wasn't expecting that. And what we can do is that we can Google what Tenebrism is. Definitely not something that a lot of people like know of or understand, but it was used a lot in the baroque kind of era of painting. And this style is all about drama, right? It's all about like darkness and drama, and you have these kind of like interesting faces happening. A lot of famous paintings like this one are essentially Tenebrism. And yeah, Frank said, what is that? Exactly. So I'm trying to do a breakdown of what I know, but also, feel free to do your own research. But it's almost like, basing everything on the drama of the moment, right? So it basically feels like everything is chaotic. Everything is like, very like terminal in a way. A lot of the, things could be kind of like horror driven. And I'm an artist that normally does a lot of colorful, positive things. So this is a very interesting challenge to do, but I'm sure we can do something together that feels like this, that feels a little bit darker and a little bit more moody. Obviously you have, a lot of like dead nature or things like that on the art, which can also be cool. What if we Google Tenebrism graphic design and we see what we get from that? Sad, never really seen anybody done graphic design with this. So this is gonna be a first for all of us. Let me see. There's not a lot of things popping up, as you can see. What if we add this to Pinterest? Normally I get a lot of inspiration in Pinterest. There's other websites too that you can pull up, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it seems like everything is kind of like the same. There's an interesting perspective on that, where there's something that feels a little bit more colorful, but also in that kind of sphere of like darkness, right? A little bit. Interestingly enough, this is a work that I did. So I don't know how this is being counted as Tenebrism, but I guess the nature of the kind of subject being somewhat hidden could be something that we can explore, right? All of these are cool. Maybe we can do something like this. Yeah, maybe we can explore something like this where there's some color to it, but then there's also like some kind of movement that we can add and some kind of mystery, right? So I think if we stay within those boundaries, we should be good. And this is, that's kind of what the wheel is. It's like you get what you get, and that's what you do. So let's jump into it. I'm setting up my timer. I don't know if we truly have 45 minutes or not, but it's already running. I'm not sure if we do have 45 minutes because I want to do the reviews at the end, but I'm going to go as fast as possible. Jumping into Photoshop, you're right, V. This is a good challenge for me. We'll see what we came up with. And Jack, thank you so much again for being on the chat, and let's make sure we share the Discord. I saw you did at the beginning, but everybody get on Discord. We want to grow the community there, and we want to see y'all's work. Okay, as usual, my canvas size that I make is normally 4800 by 6000, 300 dpi, and this allows me to work in there and then post it on Instagram, but also make large copies if I want to make a poster print or something like that. So that should work. Churrasco, who said churrasco? Am I reading that right? Churrasco at first? I thought you said churrasco. No, man, it's just my accent. I wish it was churrasco. Churrasco is a type of meat, for those who don't know. Okay, I have a few images here that I've, generated over the last week for this challenge, because I didn't know what I was gonna get, so I generated a bunch of images to kind of have get a first image that I can start working with. That's normally how I do it anyways. I have an image that I start with, and then from there I generate, create, and kind of start establishing a look. So I don't know. I don't want to go with the obvious ones that we could do. I feel like this one could work. It definitely has that kind of feel of kind of scary. I generated these images using OpenAI, and I mean, it's pretty simple to do that there. Sometimes I do use something that's called Magnific. And Magnific helps you kind of add a little bit more texture to the images. So when you generate the image and you process them to Magnific AI, it adds a little bit more texture to the skin and a little bit more detail. So that's a good tip there if you guys wanna look through it. And I'm seeing that a lot of these images are actually could work really well for what we're wanting to do. For the Tenebrism, I really like this one because we can do some stuff on the face. We can do some stuff on the torso. Use that on the bottom. So I'm like between that one. This step is really important for me. Getting the right image that inspires their creativity. I mean, obviously I like all these images. I generated them myself. I chose them to put them on my folder. But I, specifically for this challenge, I don't know which one to pick. Man, I love this one. I feel like this one already did the job for us, essentially. I like this one too. Geez, I don't know what to pick. I'm sorry for the silence. I'm processing if we should do this one. Okay, I'm gonna put them here and you guys can vote for it. I'm thinking between that one and maybe this one. Okay, between those two. Let's pick between those two. Blue is number one, and this one with the glasses is number two. Which one do you guys think we should do? If we can do a quick poll. I know if we do a poll, you have to go to YouTube to vote for it. That would be amazing. Jack, if we can get and do that. There it is, perfect. So again, one is the blue background. Two is the glasses. 1 and 2, we can vote for it. Visa, he likes the helmet. I like the one with the lady. The lady one's cool too. I'm sorry, I just chose these two because I had an idea for them. And see where the voting is going. I'm seeing a lot of number one. Number one is barely winning so far. Again, number one is the blue one. And then the glasses one is number two. 50-50, 55. It's almost there. We're gonna give it another, let's give it another 15 seconds. So we gotta get going. We wanna review those other images on the, all right, it's 50-50. So at least on my side, I'm seeing 50-50 on YouTube. All right, I'm gonna go with the, what is it? 50-50 for both. Use both. Put them both together in there. That'll actually be super challenging. Okay, 50-50. 53. I think one is barely doing a little bit more. Let's go with one. Let's go with the blue one. Let's delete this one. Thank you so much, Jack, for putting that up. And you know, the first thing I'm gonna do here is that I want to expand the shape of his shoulders to be a little bit bigger. So I want his head to be kind of having this more menacing look, right? So his head smaller and his body really big. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's keep it like that way over here. And then let's go ahead and do, we can either just, you know, expand the photo a little bit more to have more of the shoulders, or we can do it the way we are envisioning in our brain. So let's go ahead and remove background. We talked about this last week, but that tool is insanely good for, you know, how quick it just removes. And this is already kind of doing the work. I feel like I got lucky adding that photo in there. I went this week by all the styles and I looked at them, and I got it from like a style list on the internet. And I was like, I'm gonna generate some images for Not for all the styles, but images that could work if anything comes up. I'm using the pen tool here to do kind of like the shape of the shoulders here. And I'm gonna end it right there. Just using the pen tool again. It's always good for me to just draw things, right? I'm already enjoying this shape. It feels powerful, feels a little bit menacing. That's kind of what we want with the style. Somebody said flip a coin. I didn't see that, Brian. I'm sorry. I just went with this one. We'll see. Somebody said use both. Maybe we can. Maybe we can add both of them to it. We'll see it. Wait, where was the other one at? This one. It's just like it's like a different vibe, you know. It's like a different vibe of like stylistically, like the photography is so different. Not only on color and all that we can fix, but on kind of like what they're wearing and what they're doing. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll leave it over here. I'm liking this. Let's move it down. And maybe we can do a kind of extend the bottom here a little bit more. I did it a little bit short. I'll extend the bottom. Okay. I'm already sort of liking this kind of general silhouette. Sometimes when I work, what I try to do is that I try to, as quick as I can, just establish what the best kind of silhouette I'm looking for. And then from there, I can start like, you know, creating more things around it. I'm liking this. Let me see. I'm gonna use the soft brush here. You're getting some ASMR today with my mouse, just clicking around. And I'm going to do it really light because I want to darken all this area. I just want to see, I'm just doing black just to see if I like it before I just get crazy with other things, or like before I go a little bit deeper with, maybe instead of doing it this way, I'll go ahead and do, you know, either curves or levels within that, like mask inside of it, make it darker like this, right? And then I always have the ability to kind of erase the areas that I want a little bit more light in, right? I feel like right now I don't have a lot of, I don't know exactly what I'm doing. See here, I changed this, so this needs to also change to a little darker. I mean, that's a little bit too much. I'm not sure I'm liking that, but I can always, you know, turn it down a little bit. Turn it down. And then one more thing that I would like is to get a little bit of the eyes, kind of like a spark on the eyes. And maybe we don't do that realistically. I don't like doing too many things realistically, as you guys know. So I maybe prefer to do, let's just do white for now, just so we can see it. I'm gonna bump it up. I haven't tried it yet, V. I haven't tried it yet. Okay, and I'm just, sometimes what I do also is that I use dissolve to like have that more of that effect that looks like that. This, let me see how big my image is. I think I saw that at the beginning. Yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty, I like it more like this, right? It's a little bit more soft, like a little softer. I want to use this for the eyes glow, so I'm gonna bring it down. And again, I just use this dissolve for that, and it has this kind of look. And then I'm gonna go wrap, and I'm gonna wrap it so that it looks like it's inside of the eye, right? So the shape of the eye, so it looks like it's glowing in the eye. Like that. There you go. Okay, and then maybe we need to mask that and delete it a little bit. These are the small details on work that sometimes people like don't do or don't, you know, spend the time doing. But I feel like it's the kind of stuff that pays the most, you know. It's like the things that like make the work more interesting. And it's really intense right now. We can lower it a little bit more. And then also we could change the color, right? To make it a little bit more with the work. Although we don't have any color right now happening, but I'm gonna do that right there. I'm liking this already. The background is glowing so much that it's not letting us really have a glance of the eyes. So I'm gonna do a couple things here. I'm gonna delete a little bit of this blue glow that's on the side of the face. Let's lower the flow. I'm using my mouse here. I wish I had my tablet. I might set up that for next week, set that up for next week. And I'm just gonna go here on the sides to like bring that back a little bit more. I'm gonna do the same on this side. There you go. That's looking good. It's already giving a lot of scary vibes. I want to bring this glow back. A little bit of the forehead. Okay, I'm liking this. It's looking good so far. Looking very dramatic. I don't know what else we have down here. Do we have much more? The cheeks here, maybe a little bit more. We kind of want to capture the light coming from the right and left. And let me bring down the background a little bit, because yeah, it's too much before. There you go. That's looking good. Again, we gotta match these to this. We're gonna leave it disconnected like that for now. And I'm already liking this silhouette a lot. I think it has a lot of promise to offer. Evil's in the details, Frank said. You're right about that, especially on this one. I feel like it adds a lot of, like, you know, from this to this, we have a lot of already contrast on how dramatic things are on this piece, right? I just painted the back. Something that I do a lot. It's like I just literally grab the soft brush and paint. You can do that. You can also use gradients and all the different things that you want to use. I do want to give it also a dramatic look on the back like this. Maybe this is something that I do a lot on my work too. Is like just do like a very powerful silhouette, and you know, starts having a real life of its own. What I truly want to do is that I would like to have an image down here that has like a spotlight and like a person walking on the dark. Maybe we can generate that and throw it in here. I do want to add the same noise effect to the red on the back, right? I feel like that adds a little bit of, like, you know, I like that texture, adds a little bit to the photo, and it can help just bring it to life a little bit more. And for people that are tuning in a little bit late, we have you know, a wheel style of wheels here, and Tenebrism was the style that we got. So we are jumping in and creating a poster inspired by Tenebrism, which is a style that essentially, it's kind of like, you know, dramatic, dark, kind of like supposed to give you a scary vibe, and that's kind of what we're looking into doing here today. One thing that we could do is that we could, you know, the eyes thing, we could play with making those a little bit brighter, or maybe red to match the red on the back. This is kind of looking like a League of Legends show. that guy from that show. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. The guy from that show that is he kind of looks like this guy. I can't remember his name. But yeah, this is looking cool. I do want to make that inside. It's kind of like old movie poster look, you know. I'm gonna do a color balance for the background and add a little bit of blue. And the midtones in the highlights, I want to probably add a little bit of red. Something like this would work. Victor, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Victor from League of Legends, the TV shows on Netflix. Yeah, he does look like him a little bit, especially with the eyes like this. And the eyes already have a little bit of glow, so we can always, you know, kind of bring that out a little bit, or do it again by deleting some of these, which I don't know if it's going to be a good idea or not. Oops, maybe not. It's just small details, right? There we go. And this one doesn't have any of those, but you can probably bring some of these out. This kind of like this kind of textures like really brings out the kind of the realism on the photo, and it's always like something that you could do to make it pop a little bit more. Yeah, the eye kind of like is calling you a little bit more now that there's more detail in it. And because I'm doing it on the mask, you can always erase what you don't like. Okay, I'm liking this so far. We are 20 minutes in, and then I do want to review the posters in our Discord, so I'm gonna go a little bit faster. Let's try to generate something. This is what I'm imagining, kind of. I'm imagining like a spotlight kind of light like this. Put it up here, and then some kind of like a figure, kind of like this, like running on the spotlight. That's like shining. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that, but let's figure it out. Arcane is a show, you're right, Kara. I love that show. It was a good show. I kind of got the second season went too fast for me, I think. I feel like I needed more. I'm gonna do something behind the subject here. Something that I also do a lot on my work. It's like I do sometimes like something in the back to bring the attention more into the center of the image. I don't know if I'll be posting this on my Instagram. People are gonna think I'm crazy. I went from like all colorful stuff to like this pretty dark thing. So I don't know if this will make my Instagram post, but I'll post it on our Discord. Cool. I'm liking this. Let's go and try to generate that image that we're talking about. And I'm so bad at prompting, guys. I normally go to ChatGPT and try to do something with that. Maybe we do that here. Maybe we'll do the whole process. We'll do help me generate an image prompt. Help me generate a prompt. A dark scene with a person running in the dark and a spotlight. This is what I'm talking about. So bad. Spotlight on the figure. Let's just throw that in there and see what it gives us. It gives us a good prompt over here. Normally I grab this and put it in, and I start like editing it slowly as I go to get a better image. Sometimes change the model too, that could work. Okay, this is not too bad. I feel like we could work with this one, maybe. This is on Firefly 3. Let me download this one. Let me upscale all of them, and then I'll download this one and throw it in, and we'll see what that looks like. Let me copy these. It's telling me over here. I have every time I go to Firefly, I do the same thing. Let's try it on the new model in Firefly 4 and see if it's different, how different it is, and it's supposed to look more realistic and like a little bit more crisp. So yeah, this works. I did like before the trees around. Let's do trees, frame the scene, and let's see if that gives us something a little bit more, you know, around the person. Yeah, I'm liking this. Let's try the Firefly 3 model and do the same. It's interesting because sometimes the models are like, they're better, like this 4 is better, but it gives you a result that's a little bit more like, you know, like a real photo, but it misses that kind of like look that we're looking for. For example, this one is great. This is what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna upscale this. Although the figure in the metal is not perfect, I can work with it. I can just find another silhouette if I want to, or like draw it a little bit more, and it'll be good. But I love this shadow too. It's so dramatic. I'm looking at the photo on the right over here. Yeah, it's like super dramatic. The person's arms are not great, but and we can click edit I think on this one, and we can change it a little bit more. Let's download that one, and then let's also try ChatGPT on this inside of Firefly. That should give us a slightly different result. Just to see our options, and then we should be able to just throw it in, mask it in, and then do a color correction on the whole image, add some texture to it, and we'll be good to go. So Tenebrism, man, it's a curveball, but I feel like we're making it. What's happening here? Is this the same one? Don't love this one. Maybe we add classic horror movie. Look, just to see what we get. This is not bad. We can download this one too, obviously, and mess with it. Let me see if we can edit this. I think is it generate fill? What you used to edit? Yeah, there it is. Let's delete a little bit of the arms here and down here as well, and click generate. See if we can get some other variations of the body, and then go from there. Any other ideas that you guys might have? Anything else? Throw it my way. I'm kind of going with the flow here, you know, doing whatever I can. Person in the bike, not sure about that one. Let me go back to the generations. Oops. Okay. This one is cool. I like this one. For some reason, this angle is like you know, screaming a little bit more of like kind of like escaping or like being afraid. So I really like this one. Okay. Between this and this, we're gonna see what we like more on our composition, right? So let's just throw that one in. We're gonna throw it on top of everything, and then we're gonna do a simple. Let's just put it in. I'm gonna throw it, actually, I'm gonna mask it to this. That gives us a good start. And then I'm just gonna start deleting some of it, like just erasing it. And then I try to zoom out as much as possible sometimes, just so that I can see what things feel like when you look at them super small. Normally people just kind of like, this is the way that they take your content, just so you know. It's like this big on the phone. So if you're working all the time like this, it's great because you're seeing all the beautiful things that you're working on. But realistically, people are looking at it this way. So you need to always be thinking of like the dual mentality of like, okay, I should be working close, but also working far back. So make sure you guys are like always thinking through that, right? As you're working on your images. Also, it's going to allow you to create like a more striking, right, image right off the gate. This does feel like double exposure, you're right. It's like, and then I might bring some of those details back again. I like to over erase and then to like, you know, like do a couple clicks in the area that I want to bring back. Yeah, and some details around here to make it feel like, seem like it just keeps going, you know, and it's just getting darker. We want to give it that kind of that look. How much time we have left? 15 minutes left to finish the poster. I feel like we're doing great on time. This is more of a composite versus like a kind of like a more like an artistic render, I would feel like. So I'm really happy with, you know, doing this. I definitely never thought this was going to be the style that I would get today. So I'm happy that we're doing this and it's coming out good. Erase a little bit more here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do something here really quickly. I'm going to combine all of these into one and then mask this inside of that, so that now our edge is the whole subject, right? I feel like that helps a little bit more. Make it a little bit bigger. There you go. And then we're going to be erasing a little bit more like we did before. I definitely do want this. I want the color to kind of be intact and not have anything in front of it. So I'm gonna delete this much right here. And I feel like that's looking good. I like the background behind the main figure to be darker. It feels more like the Tenebrism style. You're right, V. We'll explore that in a second. Yeah, I feel like that will help. I do want to create like a, I don't know, I'm questioning what I should do with this. Should we do more of a circle, maybe? Like look like this, right? So it feels more like a cave. I feel like that's a cool look. The alternative is to open it more and to make it feel more like double exposure, right? I'm hesitant. I'm between those two. I don't know which one would be better. What do you guys think? We can also darken the image, this image, so we can do a curves in it and darken it a little bit more. I feel like that's going to help too. I'm doing it in the wrong layer. Let's just do curves and darken that a little bit more. There you go. Circle looks cool, right? Yeah, I'm liking the circle too. Let me darken this a little bit more. And then yeah, let's do the circle, right? So I'm gonna over erase all around. I'm gonna go a little bit more dramatic than I should. And then we're just going to do the opposite now. So we're going to paint in it a couple times. And that looks good. It does look a little bit bright compared to our subject, for example. And like I said before, I do not like this silhouette of this person. We could either like go find another one online, or maybe use another photo. Let's try adding this photo instead of the other one. We'll see what it looks like. I doubt that it's going to look as good as the other one, but we'll know. We'll see, because this one does have a more scary. Well, I don't know. It kind of feels like the person is in a hurry to leave the place, so it feels good too. So we'll try this one out. I constantly have to keep reminding myself to center my frame here on my computer. Okay, I do want to create this vibe like this. Maybe it goes a little bit smaller. And we can always I'm trying to think how we should add some color to this image. I don't know if I like it more than the other one, to be honest. So I don't even know if we should spend the time. What do you guys think? Any comments on between this one and this one? I feel like this one's way more dramatic. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one. Yeah, delete the arms and draw them yourself. I think you're right about that. Man, I'm just gonna do it on top for the sake of time, to not destroy the image. See if we can get it. I do want to wrap up in the next 2 or 3 minutes, so I'm just gonna delete the arms. I do not have my stylus with me, but we can just draw some arms maybe. This is gonna end terribly wrong. Make it look like he's on his pockets maybe. Yeah. Let's do another one on the other side. The only thing I do not like about this right now is that the person doesn't look too concerned. He just looks like he's walking in the dark, right? Like he doesn't have the same sense of like being scared as the other image had. It definitely does look like, you know, it's like a sketchy person with their hands on their pockets walking by. I'm gonna leave it like that for now. Okay. I think I'm messing it up, but there you go. Yeah, that looks good. Doesn't look bad. Like it. First one is great, Emily said. Thank you guys for feedback. Yeah. I forget that sometimes when I ask a question, it takes a little bit longer for you guys to answer because of the small delay that we have on the stream. So sometimes I ask something, I make a decision faster than you guys can tell me. So I'm sorry about that. I'll keep that in mind. I want to make this a little bit brighter because I feel like the whole image here is so much darker than this one that the face is getting lost. And then we're going to do the same. We're going to darken a little bit the bottom subject. There you go. And then we're going to darken this guy a little bit more. Feel like curves would be the best way to do it. There you Perfect. Okay. I feel like we have a good, you know, a good quote unquote finished poster here. We could do a little bit more. We could add, you know, text on the back. We can do a few things more like that. And normally when I post, what I do is that once I finish the work that I'm doing, I try to normally just add a little bit more around it to make it a little bit more dramatic. The darker background does look better though, like some of you guys said. So maybe we bring this down. There's more like a darker background on the image. One thing that we can do for sure is that we can add a little bit of, we can make this a smart object, and then we can go to our camera raw filters, which is normally what I would do towards the end of making the piece. We make this full screen. Obviously you guys are seeing the whole thing uncut in the bottom and all that, but here we can, you know, control the whole piece a little bit more globally. So this helps a lot. Here you go. So we're gonna do flat. Looks kind of good too. I like the flat look because it brings the subject a little bit more to the front, but maybe let's leave it halfway like that. Let's bring the white out a little bit more. So I'm gonna make the darks a little bit darker. And then something that I enjoy playing with a lot in the raw filter, camera raw filter, is to go ahead and play a little bit with the color grading. So the midtones, you know, it's gonna affect everything on the midtones obviously, but you know, really you can get a lot of like different tones here on the skin that are really good. I really like this this green over here. And let's go ahead and do something a little bit brighter like this could be cool. I mean, you can also click on the shadows one to see it a little bit bigger. But and I really like, you know, all these colors that are happening here. Really enjoy that. So maybe we'll do that. And then on the highlights, really maybe something more natural would be cool. We'll see, bring it down a little bit more. Maybe this would have been a good thing to tie it to the original Tenebrism, which had a lot of reds, and the colors were really vibrant. Where there were colors, they were like really vibrant. Normally reds, oranges, colors like that. Okay, look at that. And from that, we ended on this, and I mean, I really like it. I think it works really well. But you guys can tell me what you think inside of the Discord, which I'm going to open right now. I will share this on Discord later today. And let's go through the submissions that you guys did last week. I am so excited and so happy that you guys share all these. Let's start with Bass Pixel. She submitted this, which looks like it's like, you know, you took a photo of the screen in the moment and play with the colors. I do like the style of making things super poppy and colorful. You know, whenever you're starting with your you know, design career, like playing with things, this is, you know, totally where you want to start. But you know, I would invite you to also have some control of what you're doing. I think, yeah, you submitted this one too, Bass, and you know, the more you can control what you're doing as you go, the more you're going to be able to make a jump from, you know, enjoying design and actually being able to work for people, because working with clients is all about control. So these are very fun, very cool. I would just invite you to try to take control a little bit more of the process and understand, okay, I'm applying a filter, I'm applying another filter, things like that, so you can control it a little bit more. We have Fluff here with this amazing creation. It looks really good, Fluff. Really, I love the composition here, how it's kind of tying things together really well, and it makes your attention go to the center, which is what you want. So there's no wasted space here that makes you feel like, oh, my eye is going somewhere else. But what I would invite you to do here is to be a little bit more careful with how you're using the shadows. There's some shadows here that go above the hair. If you can see it, going on top of the hair, that makes it look like it's a flat thing on top of another flat thing. So you got to be careful with how hard your shadows are and when to, erase them and leave them. It's really tough because, as human beings, we always tend to exaggerate more than what needs to be there. But if you look even at the shadows over here, the shadow is going over the highlight. So it should be more visible on top of the highlight, but not as visible over here. And the color of this shadow should match kind of like the darkest part of her face. So I would invite you to, you have a really good sense of composition. This looks really cool. Just perfecting a little bit more the kind of tweaking those details, right? And I know this is hard because you probably made this super fast. So we have Frank here, man. Very, very good job on this. He kind of next level what I did last stream. I really love the way this kind of like has some thickness to it, right? You can kind of see how it's wrapping around, and I really enjoy that. I love the whole colorful aspect of this, and you probably, like me, make this super fast. So obviously there's a lot of details that you could improve and make better, but I think it's a really cool composition. This effect in the face, I really like this effect. I used to do this all the time in my work back in the day. Sometimes it can get a little bit dirty. When I say dirty, what I mean is like you can see the pixel breaking a little bit more. So I would be careful with that. But overall, super cool composition. Like I said last week, I was inspired by my friend V, who is here in the chat today, to create this piece, and then Frank created this one, which is super, super cool. And I love seeing that. Okay, we have this one by Gio. Gio, great job on this. I love some of the creative things that you did. The distortion in the face, you erased inside of the ear. Taking the color away from the tongue was good to kind of like, not make it as prominent when you look at it. One thing that I would encourage you to do on this piece is to kind of like keep going in a little bit more on the detail. Like for example, you have this kind of texture on top of the face. Is it a more realistic texture? Do you need to add shadows on that or reflections? Or do you want it to be like my timer just we did the poster faster than 45 minutes, that's great. Or is it something that you want to leave that way, that's flat? Also, you have a lot of like different textures between the hair and the background, but they don't ever blend. So I would invite you to either blend them really hard so that it seems like it's very obvious, or to kind of separate them more, right? It's looking a little bit flat. But the composition looks good. I feel like your eye for detail is good. So I would just keep going on that. And again, I feel bad critiquing some of these because I know you guys probably, like me, did it on, an hour or so, trying to do it as fast as possible. So I'm really thankful that you guys even took the challenge and are doing this. Let's go to the next one. We have this one here by, who is this? P? I don't know if P means another longer name, but I don't know that. But I would say, sometimes when doing creative things like this, I love this concept, and I love how you're using kind of like the style of like stretching things out with something like that we normally know, right? It's really smart to do something that your brain understands, dolphins jumping on the ocean, and kind of mix it with something totally surreal. I think the background on the back is unnecessary. I think if you would have done a realistic background like the sky, for example, good to see you, Gio, on the chat. If you would have done something on the background like a realistic sky and a realistic ocean with the dolphins jumping in it, and then you do the columns made out of water stretching out of the water, it has more of an impact on people because it kind of breaks the reality for people, right? So you have to know when to kind of like keep going and making more and more effects and adding backgrounds and things like that, and when to stop and okay, I want to leave it as realistic as possible and do this kind of like more surrealistic effect to throw people off or like make it interesting. So that would be my advice with this image. And then we have this one right here, another one where it's like, you know, is good. It's a good transition that's happening here. I like how, but it almost feels like the tiger is being sucked into something, and also the face of the tiger feels very dramatic. So I'll be careful if that wasn't your intent, that you're using the right images and you're communicating the right thing. This does feel like it's something like powerful is putting to him. We have here, and that, you know, I know I don't want to click on the names, so I don't want to leave the shot, but thank you for submitting this. And these are really cool. And I'm gonna speed up the feedback because we're running out of time. I love the effect on the hair. I love the composition, how it's coming together. I feel like you could have done something a little bit more interesting here on the bubbles in the metal, because it just feels like it's missing a little bit the point down there. So I will be careful with that. I love this one, love this composition, it's amazing. Same thing here, guys. If sometimes the images feel like, you know, they're really cool and they have a lot of space, and then there's a lot of detail around it that kind of it's hard to read the image. So going here, I'm gonna leave some more comments. I gotta jump out now because we have file new is next and I have to get off the stream, but I'm going to definitely go inside of the Discord right now and leave some comments there. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here. I appreciate every one of you. Stay for the next show. We'll see you guys next week, next Wednesday.